Well, friends, this is where we are with the project. I haven't been able to update the videos this week, just work obligations and different things like that. But I have managed to work on it a little bit this week, and you can see the progress that's been made. Obviously, the front fender has come off. I went ahead and clipped off all the front lights since we're going to be doing a rewiring project anyway. The starter assembly has come out, as I mentioned before, and I was able to clean that up. I have to actually take a look at the starter itself and do tests on that, but you can see here the cleaned up the end of the starter assembly here, got all the grease off of it. Turned out pretty decent. Had a little bit of an issue with the needle bearings falling out. Luckily, I was able to capture them all in here. I believe there's 27 in there. Best I can tell, when I looked at OEM parts, there was 27 individual needles in that needle bearing housing in that starter assembly part. So I'll double check, see what I can find out before I put it all back together. Worst case scenario, I'll just get another bearing and pop that one out and put it back in. Other things have come off, voltage regulators. I'm going to be working on the generator today. The carb's been out for a while. Of course, it needs cleaned up. It is a Bendix carb, not the stock Tillotson that I thought it was. So we'll take care of that. Got the headlight, different indicator lights. These came off the front end, I believe. And then the whole back end assembly is still on the rear fender, so I got that to work out. So yeah, got stuff to do. Secondary lights, they got clipped. They're down there for now. There was a aftermarket horn put on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to stock on that. The old oil filter cooler, obviously. Front fender. So yeah, that's just sort of where we're at with it all. Now, my goal is obviously still working on getting the actual motor out. We're getting to a point where we can get the motor out. Yeah, there's going to be some next steps here. Obviously, still some work ahead of me, but nonetheless, I wanted to give you guys a quick update now, and I'm going to put the camera down, get the wrench in here, and I'll give you an update in a little bit. Hello everybody, just another quick update. Went ahead and got the generator off today. Took off the chain guard and the primary cover. Bendix came out for the starter, and we got her up on ramps, so she's all ratcheted down, ready to go for tomorrow. We'll get some more stuff going on, but everything's looking good. Teeth are looking good. There was an oil leak because the gasket was sort of blown out here around the jack shaft. So anyway, yeah, we'll fix that. I felt the oil. I didn't feel any metal shavings or anything down there, so I think we're pretty clean. Tensioner looks good, but I just might replace that just because. And yeah, we'll take a look at all the sprockets, make sure she's looking okay, whatever. So still a long way to go, but here we are for now. Hey, welcome. It's Sunday. We went ahead and got the upper part of the jugs off. So the upper end's taken care of. Yeah, rocker boxes and upper cases. So, boop. Let's see. I think I mentioned yesterday we got this side of the crankshaft primary off. So that's been taken care of as well. Details about this, what can I share? I was surprised. Most of these little screws that were holding the cover on, not a problem to get off. This one right here, oh my gosh, big pain in the butt. I don't know what it was, but I let some WD-40 soak on it for a couple hours. Put a propane torch on it for a while. Finally got the biggest, gnarliest screwdriver I had and latched onto it with a pair of vice grips and just leaned into it and cranked the heck out of it, and it finally popped and came free. So we're good there. Obviously this is all exposed at the moment. I keep a tarp over it for now. The lower end's still going to come out, the crankcase. At this point, I still have to get some special tools to get the main nut off the crankcase on the other side. The clutch assembly I'm just going to leave on for right now because I don't want to fiddle with it, and it's all in one piece right now. So what I've been doing is really just cleaning a lot, and scraping oil and gunk off the frame. So yeah, you can see down here, hot mess, right? So anyway, slowly but surely, we're getting her apart. I'm gonna take the lower end off, the lower parts of the jugs off probably next weekend. I don't know, maybe sometime this week. Don't mind this. All this is getting cleaned up, so don't freak out too much about all the dirt and stuff you see. Obviously, when we put this back together, we're going to be much more careful in keeping everything clean and organized and all that other stuff. But yeah, right now with teardown, still learning a lot about the bike, about shovelheads in general, about this particular bike. Probably some unique features on there. I recently learned that the generator had been worked on earlier. I mean, it's off now, but the brushes and the insides were all updated and had less than 2,000 miles on them. The starter and Bendix and all that. I mean, I'm gonna have to check all that and bench test it, make sure it's all in working order. The bushings, if you can see here, the bushings, a little bit of wear, and they're of course hard at the moment, so you gotta take care of that. But eventually we're getting her down to the frame, and when we get down to the frame, of course, we're gonna go ahead and spray her down with some degreaser. Going to go ahead and sand it. Still debating on whether or not I want to set up a powder coating station in my backyard shed here and take care of it that way. I'm probably just going to hit it with some gloss, just a little bit easier. But we'll get it sanded, cleaned, primed, ready to go. And then of course all the individual components that come with it. Still lots of cleanup to do, as you can tell. Lots of gunk, lots of cleanup still. But interesting thing about the cylinders. Let's see. I'll show you here. So I believe, I don't know, can you see this here? Might be a little hard. No, I think you got it. Zoom in. Alright, check this out. There they are. Look at that. So down on top of the pistons, little grains. Little grains. Well, where did those little grains come from? Best guess is that some type of rodent, mouse or something, scurried up the tailpipe, which was interesting because it had, fishtails on it. so the opening was pretty narrow to begin with, but a mouse had apparently crawled up the exhaust pipe into the exhaust port on the front side there, and just made that his little nest and home for a while. So luckily no dead mice in here, you know, no dead animals that I can tell. So, you know, again, just keeping her strapped down for now. Love having it up here on the deck, way easier to work on it. Avoided having to buy a bench or a work table for it. So, you know, again, that might come in helpful later on when I'm putting it together. But for the disassembly portion, you know, the ramps have worked out great. Put a jack under the frame. I wheeled up the front end here, you know, got that strapped in and tied down, and then we went ahead and jacked up the frame underneath the primary housing, got the back end up, and then just kicked this ramp underneath of it and got it all tied down. It's mostly tied down on the front end, as you can tell, but sturdy, not going anywhere. So that's helpful. It's like what, July 12th, July 13th. Let's call it the 12th. I don't know. Sunday, whatever. But yeah, we're still making progress, of course. You know, we'll take it apart piece by piece, clean it piece by piece. I was a little disappointed. I covered it up with a tarp last night because there were storms coming through. I don't know if you guys can see this. Little particulates. Little white particulates. Yeah, that the tarp I covered it with was old, and yeah, there it is. So it's a little sun rotted, just dry rotted out a little bit. So that thing's got to go. I got a new tarp I'm gonna put on it. But since we're over here, you can see. Sorry, in the way here. So yeah, valves and the domes need cleaned up, of course. I mean, everything needs cleaned up. Yeah, a little bit of an oil issue here. We'll take a look at that. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but again, once we get it cleaned up, we'll find out. So rocker arms, which I don't know. I haven't even looked inside here, so you're doing this with me for the first time. Let's see what I can do here. I don't know if I can do this one-handed or not. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that later. So you can see over here, they got the rocker boxes still on the top end. Got a little bit of a, I don't know if you can see it there. It's probably a little dark. A little bit of a chip out right there, but there's a cover that goes over both of those and gets tightened down, so that should be okay. Valves, dirty. So obviously, I mean, look, it's an old bike, everything's gonna need cleaned. We'll sort of see where we're at with stuff, but yeah, caked on. You can't see. It's very sunny out here, so it's hard to see what I'm filming, but caked on stuff with the valves. We'll check the clearances, check the tolerances, all that stuff. You know, get the rocker boxes off. And yeah, slowly, like I said, slowly but surely. You know, it's I'm probably being overly ambitious, and I don't want to be, because I want to take my time and make sure I can do everything the right way. But obviously, it's early July right now. This part of the world usually stays pretty warm till like mid-October, and then you start getting some you know, Canadian downdrafts coming in and making it a little chillier. So I'd love to get this thing up on like a working bench and you know, get the engine fired up at least. Take a rock at that. Look at this guy. He's gross. Hi, Bubba. Yeah, he's helping. He's a good helper. So anyway, that's my update for today. It's just been nice, you know, been nice being out here under this tree, nice and shaded. So cool. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. There will be more videos coming in the future. Teardown, of course, has been Look, I'm dirty. It's hard to hold a camera. I'm looking up things in the service catalog and the parts manual to make sure things are sort of coming apart the right way and in the right order. I've made a few missteps here and there, try to get corrected along the way. But again, it's a learning process for me. I've never taken apart a Shovelhead before. Never taken a bike apart really before. But this seemed like a good place to start. So once everything comes off the frame and we start getting into the cleaning and reassembling of everything, that's when I'm going to start putting the camera up on a tripod and just sort of documenting the process. There are some good explainer videos out there already that talk about the teardown process. I'll try to shout those out in the comments. Yeah, this is just it's the grunt work, right? No one really likes to see the grunt work. But if you have any questions about how things came apart, or any concerns, things you're looking at right now, like, oh my God, that shouldn't look like that, or it shouldn't be like that, let me know. Yeah, I'll try to respond as best I can. But between the full time and between tearing down a bike on the weekend, been a little busy. And like I said, we'll get the bottom parts of the cylinder heads taken off by this weekend. Slowly get into the flywheel and crank assembly. All that's going to come out, but I'm going to have to order some special tools, and I don't have any impacts or anything like that. So at this point, with COVID-19, of course, still taking a toll, who knows how long it's going to be before parts show up and things like that happen. But I'll keep updating as we go. Anyway, the dog's hot. He's got to go inside. I'll catch up with you guys later. Bye.